Hello, my name is Alex Philly. So this time I'm going to talk about reaching the end game of the division and what kind of loot you can expect when you reach the high levels of the game. You'll probably start getting your first purple items when you reach about level 15 to 20 or so, and then you'll have a few in your character's inventory, and then later on you can pretty much get purples for your whole inventory. Definitely by the end of level 30 you should have all purples. The blue weapons have one trait that activates over a certain level of stats. The purple items have two. In some ways that's good, but it also means you've got to manage things a bit more. So you could have one really good trait, but then whether you get two good traits in a row is up to luck. In those cases you'll probably want to try and have a look for more weapons to see if you can get a really good combination. Some of the purple items are good as well, although you probably want to get the ones with the moddable slots, as those allow you to increase your stats even more. I think whether you aim for a high armor rating or high stats depends on what traits your guns have. So if you need ones that have high stats, then you might have to forego the armor rating a little bit, just so you can increase your stats above a certain level. So if there's a gun that requires 1100 stamina and 1500 electronics, then you're going to have to match your equipment to adjust that. And you're going to have a bit of a problem if you've got, say, one gun that needs good firearms and stamina skill, and then another one that needs good stamina and electronics skill, because effectively the game's asking you to have max skills on everything, which is going to be quite hard to maintain. But it is possible, and with the right tweaking of your inventory and weapons, you can do that. I think the best way of utilising the Dark Zone is when you reach a certain level and you struggle a little bit, stay there for a bit, get some more equipment, and then hopefully the equipment you get from there will have enough variety and stat increases to let you move on to the next stage. Although you probably won't want to spend a lot of time there until you reach about level 30. I'm not sure if everyone else has had the same experience, but for me, the lower level Dark Zones are quite populated, and the middle ones seem to be empty, as everyone was basically racing towards level 30 at that point. So maybe that's something the developers could look into a bit more. Maybe for each of the Dark Zones there could be one rare piece of loot that everyone wants to go after, and then when they get that then they can move on to the next Dark Zone. Otherwise people are pretty much going through the whole story mode and never even setting foot in the Dark Zone until later, which is possible, but it would take a little bit of the fun out of the game, I think. Another problem is most of the allies that I've added on my friends list since doing the story missions, their levels fluctuate quite wildly. So if I wanted to go into the Dark Zone, some of my friends are really high level, so I'd have to go up to their Dark Zone and I wouldn't have much health in there. Or I'd have to hold the hand of the lower level guys so they can level up. Again, those things could be sorted a bit. In other MMOs you can scale everyone's level, so the highest level person goes down to lowest level, but obviously it depends on the kind of game that people want to play. Hopefully we'll see some improvements with the upcoming game fixes and DLCs. One thing that is annoying is that it takes up about 30 gigabytes or so of my hard drive, and as I'm running it on an SSD, that means it's really tough trying to get the extra space for another game. So for example Fallout 4, loading times on that are insane if it's not on an SSD, so now I'm having to try and juggle things just to try and squeeze two games on my SSD, which is probably not the best, but 128 gig SSDs, things are quite tight with the OS and any other programs on there that I want to load quick, but those are just simple things I can probably sort out, but I'll keep investigating. As for the weapons, I do quite like SMGs quite a lot. The marksman rifles can be quite good for long range combat as well. And I tend to use the LMGs a bit, although the clip size is huge and it takes a while to actually do a lot of damage, so you might want to increase the rate of fire on those guns. I think that's about all I have to say for this video. In the next few videos I'll show you what it's like when you reach level 30 and what happens when you find your first bit of high-end gear. Hope you enjoy, looking forward to that.